So, the main premise of the book, The Conscious Parent, is on the raising of the parent. Many books out there focus on how to fix one's child, how to best discipline them, or how to best talk to them, or how to best get them to toe our line. But this book is a little bit different. It really turns the spotlight on the inner evolution and spiritual growth of the parent. And a lot of parents have a hard time accepting that the real work in quote unquote fixing one's child begins with them. Conscious parenting really brings to mind and calls to question how evolved are we as spiritual beings? And unless parents really begin engaging with this question on a deep internal level, they will raise their children as merely projections of their unresolved issues, their unfulfilled needs, and their unmet fantasies. So, do we really want to do that? Do we want to have children grow up, be the mirror image of our unresolved emotions? Or do we want them to grow up separate from our unresolved states and instead mirrors of our spiritual transcendence? So this is the question that we parents could pose to ourselves if we want to raise children who are truly answering the call of their own inner spirit and truly able to evoke an inner authenticity that is uniquely theirs rather than borrowed from us or from our ancestors' past. Conscious parenting sometimes is mistaken as a permissive approach, an approach which allows parents to raise children as they wish to be raised. Let our children grow as they wish. And this is a mistaken assumption indeed, because conscious parenting first speaks to understanding who it is our children are. So when we begin to become curious about the inner spirit of our children and begin to understand that it is our spiritual obligation to them and to us to meet their needs as they uniquely are, then we begin to lay aside notions of projection or control or dominance. So in terms of this approach being a permissive approach and this being a mistaken assumption, what I tell parents often is that this is not about permissiveness or non-permissiveness or about discipline or not disciplining. It is about transcending these dualities and really reaching to the heart of the matter, which is an authentic connection between our spirit and our children's spirit. And as cliched as this may sound, this is really a profound notion to follow in real life. It demands that we parents understand who it is we are on a deep, authentic level. And then once this has been understood, accepted, and manifested in the real life moment, only then will we be able to reach out to our children's spirit and help them evoke and manifest that. Later on, after this foundational acceptance, this foundational relatedness has been firmly established within the parent-child relationship, then we can bring in the other ideas and concepts of discipline or boundaries and control. When we authentically relate with our children, then automatically inbuilt in that is a balance between an authentic relatedness and a sense of containment. So discipline and boundaries and rules are never seen outside of the relationship between parent and child. In fact, they are embedded within the tapestry of moment to moment relating with our children. So I encourage parents to not see discipline and rules and control as something outside the relationship one has with one's child. Instead, to engage with one's child authentically, deeply, and then automatically this gets embedded within the relationship. Also, another assumption of conscious parenting is that this will lead to children being out of control. And again, I encourage parents to understand that this is not about being in control. This is not a paradigm of control or power, one against the other. This is a paradigm of deep inner connectedness. So when the parent is deeply connected to their inner spirit, then automatically the child will model this sort of inner connectivity themselves. So when you have two beings who are deeply connected to their inner core, to their deepest core, then they are automatically empathic, connected to others, respectful of others and the self. So then where is the space for being quote unquote out of control? So when we shift our understanding to a deep inner relatedness and we begin to base all interaction on this, then we automatically, intuitively, and organically will be able to raise our children, quote unquote, in line. They will naturally fall into place, and we don't have to fear that they will be out of sync because we've taught them, or we've taught them through our modeling that the inner pulse must be honored, and therefore the pulse of another must be honored. So empathy and resilience and emotional literacy then become the language of the new relationship.